Hey, I just wanted to share something. So this week I quit caffeine, which for me means quitting coffee, chocolate's probably my biggest weakness, green tea. Those are probably the three main things. And also some chai teas also have caffeine in them. But the reason I quit caffeine is because I came across someone on YouTube who said that they had quit caffeine, and so I decided to look further into it. I started watching videos, and short story, I decided to try it just to see what would happen. So basically, I've never been a really big like a coffee drinker. I have probably chocolate. I would have more chocolate than I would have coffee. I mean, I only have one coffee a day maximum. Lately, I have been drinking a lot more green tea. But chocolate and I probably have 3 squares of chocolate a day maximum, but then also sometimes we eat chocolate ice cream. So I guess it all adds up. But yeah, the reason I quit caffeine was because I had a sore foot and I suspected that the coffee was causing my inflammation in my foot. So I had inflammation, which was diagnosed by a doctor 7 years ago, in my foot. Now, I went to the physio. I ended up going to the physio, which helped a little bit, but the main thing that helped me 7 years ago was going paleo. So paleo basically taught me how to avoid refined carbs, refined sugars, and refined oils, and switching those to healthy versions. So healthy oils, healthy fats, healthy carbs, brown carbs, avoiding white carbs, and healthy sugars. So avoiding refined sugars and sticking to more natural sugars occurring nature like honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, not like highly processed sugars. And so basically that got rid of my inflammation 7 years ago, and so I've been on like a pretty healthy diet. Recently we also went kosher, so we avoid pork and shellfish, and we follow kosher dietary requirements, which for us means separating the meat and dairy into different meals. And we found that really worked well for us, so we both lost weight. But yeah, my husband last week was like, oh, I'm gonna stop with the coffee, and I was like, okay. So I looked further into it, and I came across a lot of people who have done the same and reported a lot of benefits. But because I'm not a big coffee drinker, I only drink 1 coffee a day, usually 2 maximum, but usually it's only 1. Because I don't like drinking coffee in the afternoon because it tends to wire me up and I can't get to bed. But yeah, so basically I decided I would try this, and it has worked. So my foot has actually gone back to normal 100%. So I've had a sore foot for 8 months, and for me, it meant that it was like often painful to walk on. And the other thing which helped my foot was raw dairy, but the coffee, I'm on my 9th day of not drinking coffee or having any caffeine, and it's now back to definitely 100% now. So I know it's the caffeine that is causing the inflammation. So what can happen, from what I was reading, is that the caffeine spikes your cortisol levels in your body and triggers also other stress hormones in your body. So if your body is at constant stress, fight or flight mode because of the hormones being released, then what can happen is that you do have a chance to develop inflammation if your body is constantly feeling stressed. So I think that's what was caused it. To me it makes sense. And yeah, the withdrawal symptoms that have come with quitting caffeine is probably enough for me to want to quit caffeine forever, to be honest. I was not expecting the withdrawal, all these different withdrawal symptoms that I'm experiencing at the moment. So I'm on my 9th day of quitting coffee, and I have experienced insomnia a few days in a row. I've experienced headaches. There's one like major headache. The other headaches were mild, which I'm thankful for. And really bad muscle aches, mainly in my shoulders, which have passed now. Also a lot of fatigue. There was one night where my husband and I, we both had insomnia. So we basically, both of us got up at 3 a.m. in the morning and watched YouTube on our TV because we couldn't get to sleep. And then we had 1 hour sleep at 5 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But so yeah, the good things I've noticed is that my foot is back to normal, which is the main thing, which was my goal. And I've also noticed that I've been feeling a bit more like I wake up a little bit earlier as well. I tend to, despite the fatigue, I seem to be a bit more perky in the morning. And any other good things, I've noticed that my tooth is also, I have a few cavities, but I've been trying to avoid going to the dentist. So in hopes that possibly I may be able to reverse those cavities. But yeah, I have noticed that one of my cavities is actually looking a lot whiter, and it's only been 9 days. So I definitely will report if that continues to improve. I will continue to report that and probably post another video on that. Yeah, so far, really good things, really positive things from quitting caffeine. I now think it's possibly a drug that the whole world is addicted to, and definitely people should do their own research, and I encourage everyone to do their own research because the body should not be constantly triggered into a stress state, because that's when you can develop disease and cancers. So I definitely highly recommend anyone watching this video that you do your own research, and yeah, God bless. So one thing which I've been doing to curb my chocolate cravings is I bought some carob powder. So I bought carob chocolate as well, but what I love most is chocolate milk. So I make chocolate milk with 1 teaspoon of carob powder, a glass of milk, and you can easily use like 1 or 2 teaspoons of coconut sugar, and that satisfies my chocolate cravings in the morning if I'm feeling something that tastes like chocolate.